But big story the last 48 hours with the Prime Minister really going hard on the housing issue and putting more heat on the Greens.
Anthony Albanese yesterday called the Greens bluff on housing policy, committing an extra $2 billion for state governments after speaking to all premiers and chief ministers during the week and following a national cabinet hookup 4 p.m. Friday. The PM demanded that the money for social housing be extra and the states not reduce their spend on social housing in return. There will also be some purchases of existing dwellings, bearing in mind labour shortages mean building a big program is not easy at the moment.
This is new money right now for social housing. We're determined to work constructively with state and territory governments to reverse this decline as part of our commitment to expand housing supply.
So the Greens had demanded an extra $2.5 billion for social housing and a rent freeze in return for supporting the government's Housing Future Fund legislation through the Senate. Yesterday, they said they would hold a party room meeting to determine whether or not to support the legislation in the wake of the government announcement. It seems unlikely.
They said that they were going to put $2 billion on the table to incentivise states to change their planning laws. Now, just change planning laws to rent freeze, and that's what we want the Labor Party to do at National Cabinet on rents. So we're still pushing the Labor Party to put $1 billion on the table to incentivise a freeze on rent increases.
The PM made the housing announcement at the Victorian State Labor Conference yesterday, where he once again made a pitch for the Voice referendum later in the year.
We can say yes to practical change that will help to close the gap and improve lives. We can vote yes for a stronger, fairer, more reconciled and more united Australia. And I am optimistic that the Australian people will rise to this moment and will vote yes.
Housing also formed a key part of Peter Dutton's address to the Liberal Party's federal conference in Canberra yesterday.
Many aspiring young Australian homeowners will cast their vote at the next election. As the pencil in their hand hovers over a coalition candidate, we want the sound of jingling house keys to resonate in their minds.